Hey there, and welcome to Mama Drama and Trauma. I'm your host, Jenny Kimmel. With this being Thanksgiving week, I wanted to pause the timeline of my story for a moment and step into something that's been on my heart. Because the truth is, holidays hit differently after your life has been turned upside down. And sometimes the weeks we're supposed to feel grateful are actually the weeks that feel the heaviest. This is my third Thanksgiving without him, and this year, for the first time, I can finally feel the difference. I can feel the healing. I can feel the strength. I can feel the peace that slowly started building over these last couple of years, even when I couldn't see it at the time. I'm happy. I'm joyful. I'm grounded. I'm in such a better place than I ever imagined I could be. But getting here wasn't easy. My first Thanksgiving without him was also my second Thanksgiving without my dad. And the timing of all that grief piled up in a way that nearly swallowed me whole. And the second Thanksgiving, it brought its own kind of heartbreak. The kids were with him the entire holiday. I didn't realize how quiet a house could feel until that weekend. So today, I want to share what these 2 years have looked like. Not just the pain, but the growth, the healing, the strength, and the beauty that slowly came back into my life. Because if you're listening right now and this holiday feels heavy, I want you to hear this. You're not alone. You're not doing anything wrong. And someday you're going to feel the light again too. Let's get into it. The truth about holiday healing. The holidays are supposed to be full of warmth and togetherness, full of familiar smells in the kitchen, full of noise and laughter, and that comforting sense of family. But when your relationship ends, the holidays take on a completely different meaning. There's a quiet ache that settles in even before the week begins. And that first Thanksgiving after my marriage fell apart, it didn't just hit hard, it knocked the wind out of me. And there was another layer to it that made the weight almost unbearable. Not only was it my first Thanksgiving without him, it was also my second Thanksgiving without my dad. My dad passed away on November 17th, and Thanksgiving fell right at that 1-year mark. I didn't even realize how much my heart was holding until I sat down at that table and felt everything at once. It was grief stacked on grief, heartbreak stacked on heartbreak, loss that felt too heavy to put into words. I was grieving my marriage. I was grieving my dad. I was grieving the version of my life I thought I'd still have. And I was trying so hard to hold it together for my boys when inside I felt cracked wide open. I remember waking up that morning and feeling like I had to mentally strap emotional armor onto myself just to get through the day. I kept thinking, you can't fall apart right now, not today, not in front of the kids. But that doesn't mean I wasn't breaking inside. I remember trying to help my mom, trying to be present, trying to smile, and nothing felt normal. The kitchen felt different without my dad there, without him carving the turkey, without him being part of our day. And everything felt different without the marriage I thought was forever. And last year was also my first Thanksgiving with the divorce officially finalized, which layered its own kind of reality, the kind that hits you in a quiet moment, reminding you that life truly has changed. It wasn't the sharp shock of that first year. It was the settled truth that everything, the marriage, the family dynamic, the future I once pictured was legally, permanently deeply real now. It was the kind of holiday where the silence between moments is loud, where memories feel sharper than usual, where you're constantly reminded of who isn't there. That first Thanksgiving was one of the hardest days of that first year. And if you're listening right now and you're facing your first Thanksgiving without the person you thought you'd spend forever with, or if you've lost someone you love and the holiday hits harder because of it, I want you to know something. You're not alone. You're not crazy. You're not failing at healing. You're just human. I know that quiet ache that settles into your chest in the days leading up to a holiday. I know what it feels like to dread traditions that used to make you happy because they now remind you of everything that's changed. I know the swirl of emotions, the dread, the sadness, the disbelief, the heaviness that hits you at the most unexpected moments. You're not doing anything wrong. Your heart is just adjusting to a reality you didn't choose. And as painful as those first holidays are, they do soften, but they don't soften right away, and that's okay. Year 1 versus year 2 versus year 3. Year 1 nearly broke me. I was in shock. I was still surviving, still trying to understand how my life had collapsed so fast. Thanksgiving that year didn't even feel like a holiday. It felt like a reminder of everything I had just lost. My marriage, my sense of family, the future I thought I knew. I wasn't present. I was going through the motions, forcing smiles for the boys and trying to keep myself from falling apart at the table. It was this strange, hollow ache, the kind where you're physically there, but emotionally you're somewhere else entirely. You're replaying memories, wondering how this became your life, trying to breathe through a pain that feels too big for your body. And that first year, even through all that heartbreak and confusion, I still brought him a plate of food, especially my mom's dressing, the one thing he absolutely loved. My mom's dressing was his favorite, and I made sure to put some aside just for him. I packed up a plate with a couple of his favorite Thanksgiving items, but I made sure the dressing was front and center because I knew how much he looked forward to it every year. Looking back, that moment says so much. Even in the middle of my pain, even in the middle of all the betrayal and shock, I still had love in my heart. I was still trying to hold on to some piece of what we had. I was still showing up in ways he no longer was. And that gesture, simple as it was carried so much meaning. It was me still hoping, still caring, still believing that maybe somehow something could be salvaged. But year 2. Year 2 caught me off guard. People don't talk enough about how the second holiday can hit just as hard, sometimes harder. That year, he had the kids for the entire Thanksgiving holiday, Wednesday through Sunday. They did come celebrate Friday with me and my family. We had dinner, we laughed, we made the best of it, but once they left again, the house went quiet again. It stung in a different way. It was like reliving loss all over again from a new angle. Because the first year, at least I had the kids with me. I had something grounding me. But the second year, the silence was loud. The loneliness was real. The weekend stretched out in front of me, and even though I wanted them to have a good holiday with their dad, there was this undeniable ache knowing they weren't with me. And since they were with him the whole Thanksgiving break, the kids and I actually decorated for Christmas the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Normally, we decorate the Saturday after. It's always been our little tradition. But that year, we had to shift everything. It was another reminder of how even our traditions had to adjust to this new life. And I remember feeling that change deep in my chest. The way divorce doesn't just break your heart, it rearranges your calendar, your rituals, your sense of what family time looks like. I remember waking up on Thanksgiving morning and thinking, wow, this is really my life now. That's when the reality of divorce really sinks in. When traditions shift, when schedules divide, when someone else gets the holiday time with your children, and you're left trying to build something new from pieces that don't look familiar anymore. Year 2 was strength mixed with sadness, healing mixed with hollow moments. Me learning how to be okay alone even when I didn't want to be. And then year 3, this year. This year feels different, not perfect, not magically healed, but grounded, peaceful, steady in a way that surprises me. This year, the joy feels real again, not forced, not fragile, not something I'm pretending to have, real joy. I can sit at the table and feel grateful without feeling broken. I can laugh without feeling guilty. I can enjoy the moments without constantly remembering what I lost. This is the first Thanksgiving since the divorce where I feel like me again, or maybe even a new version of me, one that's stronger, clearer, more rooted, more open. Healing didn't come all at once. It wasn't linear. It wasn't pretty. And what it was very messy. Painfully messy, but messy in a way that still moved me forward even when it didn't feel like progress. But being here now, it's proof that the holidays don't stay heartbreaking forever. One day you wake up and realize, I'm okay. I'm really okay. And this year, I am missing his family, but not the pain. One thing people don't talk about enough after divorce is that you're not just losing a marriage, you're losing a whole family system you were part of for years. His family was my family for over 2 decades. I didn't just marry him, I married all of them. The holidays, the birthdays, the traditions, the inside jokes, the familiar routines, all of that becomes part of your life, part of your identity, part of your comfort. And the truth is, I loved his family. I really did. I loved the holiday gatherings, the laughter in the kitchen, the years of memories woven into every celebration. I loved how natural it felt to be part of their world. I loved the kids running around with their cousins. I loved the warmth that came with belonging to this big connected family. So yes, on Thanksgiving, that ache shows up too. It's not just missing a spouse, it's missing an entire branch of your life. There's a grief in realizing that the people you once saw as your family aren't really your family anymore. Not in the same way, not in the ways that used to matter. And this year, especially being in such a better place emotionally, I can say something honestly. I do miss them. I miss the traditions. I miss the familiarity. I miss the people, not the marriage. And missing them doesn't mean I want him back. It doesn't mean I want the relationship back. It doesn't mean I'm stuck. It just means I'm human and I loved a family that no longer feels like mine. There is a deep, unspoken grief in losing your in-laws, people you thought would be in your life forever. And it's strange because it's not a breakup that gets talked about. It's not public. It's not acknowledged. It just slowly fades, not out of anger, but out of time, distance, boundaries, and the reality that everything has changed. And I can hold both truths now. I can miss what once was and still be deeply grateful for where I am now. Because while I miss the comfort of those familiar faces and all the years we shared, I don't miss the pain. I don't miss the version of myself I had to become in that marriage. I don't miss shrinking myself to keep the peace. I don't miss begging for love or for clarity. I don't miss fighting alone for something that required two people. This Thanksgiving, I can feel both. The softness of nostalgia and the strength of knowing I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Grief and gratitude can sit at the same table. And for the first time in a long time, that feels okay. This year, I get the kids, and I'm so thankful. This Thanksgiving is mine with the kids, and let me tell you, I am soaking in every single second. There's something about having them home with me this year that feels extra special, almost like it's filling a space in my heart that's been empty for a long time. I get them for 3 weekends in a row, and I love that. I love the noise. I love the energy. I love hearing them moving around the house, opening the fridge 100 times a day, laughing with each other, or asking me what we're doing next. There's something comforting about the normal moments, the little things that so many people take for granted. Because for me, after everything we went through, those little things feel huge. And maybe that's why this year feels so different. Last year, they were gone for the whole Thanksgiving weekend, and I felt that emptiness in every corner of my home. I tried to stay positive. I tried to focus on the good, but there was no denying the loneliness. But this year, I feel grateful in a way I didn't know was possible. Not just grateful for the holiday itself, grateful for the healing. Grateful for the peace I feel in my home. Grateful for the bond I have with my boys. Grateful for the way we've grown closer, not in spite of what we went through, but because of it. There's a joy in my house now that's hard to explain unless you've lived through a storm. It's softer, it's lighter, it's calmer, and it's real. We've walked through hell together, and somehow we've come out closer, stronger, more connected than I ever expected. And now that the holiday is here and the boys are home, it feels good to lean back into our normal traditions again. We decorate for Christmas the Saturday after Thanksgiving. That's always been our thing. And there's something comforting about keeping that tradition exactly as it's always been. Pulling out the bins, untangling lights, hearing them laugh and tease each other, putting on music. Those are the moments that remind me that even though our family looks different, our love hasn't changed. I've noticed something inside me. I'm not pretending anymore. I'm not forcing joy. I'm not trying to convince myself I'm okay. I am okay. I'm in a genuinely good place this year. Like truly. And it's a different kind of gratitude, not the surface level kind, not the I'm trying to stay positive kind. This gratitude comes from walking through darkness and finally finding light again. It comes from having moments of peace that feel earned. It comes from realizing your kids are okay and you're okay, and the life you're building now actually feels good. This year, I'm thankful for the healing that I didn't see coming. I'm thankful for the strength I didn't know I had. I'm thankful for the laughter in my home, even if it looks different than the life I once imagined. And more than anything, I'm thankful that my boys and I get to be together this holiday, because there was a time I honestly didn't know how any of this would look or feel on the other side of everything we went through. And now I can say with confidence, with peace, with a full heart, we're okay. We really are. What I want you to hold on to this Thanksgiving If you're listening to this right now and this holiday feels heavy, if you're waking up with that ache in your chest, if you're staring at the calendar wishing the holiday season would hurry up and pass, I want you to hear me when I say this. You won't always feel this way. You won't always hurt this deeply. You won't always carry this kind of weight. I know it feels impossible when you're in it. I know it feels like every commercial, every social media post, every picture-perfect family gathering is a reminder of what you lost. I know you feel like you're the only one hurting while the rest of the world is celebrating. But I promise you, the heaviness you feel right now is temporary. It may last longer than you want. It may come in waves, it may hit at the most unexpected moments, but it will not stay this heavy forever. Grief softens, holidays get easier, memories lose their sharp edges. Your heart starts to breathe again, and even though the first year can feel impossible, and the second year can surprise you with how deeply it still hurts, there will come a year when the light comes back in, when the laughter feels real again, when the holiday doesn't feel like a wound, it feels like a moment you can simply be present in. Maybe that year is next year for you, maybe the year after, maybe sooner than you expect, maybe later than you'd like, but it will come. I want you to be gentle with yourself this Thanksgiving. Let the day be whatever it needs to be. You don't have to force joy. You don't have to fake gratitude. You don't have to put on a performance of strength for anyone. If you cry, you cry. If you laugh, you laugh. If you need to step away for a moment, do it. If you need quiet, take it. If you need company, seek it. There is no right way to do your first holiday after a heartbreak or a loss. There is only your way, and whatever gets you through the day with the least amount of pressure and the most amount of grace. And I want you to know something that I didn't believe in the beginning, but I know to be true now. Joy will find you again, even if right now you can't picture it. Even if you feel broken, even if you feel like you'll never feel whole again, you will. Maybe not today, maybe not this holiday season, but someday something will shift. You'll take a breath and realize the ache isn't as sharp. You'll notice a moment that feels warm again. You'll laugh and it won't feel forced. You'll feel peace where pain used to live. And when that happens, even if it's small, let yourself hold it. Let yourself believe that healing is happening, even quietly, even slowly, because it is. Thank you for spending this time with me today, especially during a week that can feel so complicated. If this Thanksgiving feels heavy for you, please know I get it. I've lived it. I've cried through it. I've broken down in the middle of it. I've questioned everything during it, and I've slowly rebuilt myself around it. And I want you to know, truly know, that no matter where you are in your journey, you are not behind. Your healing is not late. You are not failing. You are simply learning how to live through something you never thought you'd have to live through. And that takes time, patience, grace, and a whole lot of compassion for yourself. I hope this episode gives you a little comfort going into the holiday. I hope it reminds you that you're stronger than the pain that tried to break you. I hope it shows you that healing isn't linear or pretty. And yes, it can be very messy, but it's absolutely possible. And I hope you feel even a small moment of peace this week, no matter what your holiday looks like. And as always, you are strong, you are worthy, and your story matters. Until next time, take care of you.